To introduce these thoughts for today, I've chosen a verse from the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 23, and it reads, "He who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself from calamity." I'll say that again. He who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself from calamity. This might seem a strange introduction for a thought, but it comes as a result of being deaf. When I watch TV, on many occasions I use subtitles to make it easier to follow what's being said, and the words stand out far better than the words that I can hear. And the first thing that I noticed was the amount of swearing and bad language that was used. And when I hear these words, they've always been used, it makes me think of my school days, when an English teacher gave a very good reason as to why people use bad language when speaking to others. And this was the reason. It is used because the person speaking these words does not have sufficient knowledge of the English language to express themselves correctly. And I think that answers my question to that one. The second point I noticed, or the second part that does really upset me, is the use of the words God, Jesus Christ, and heaven. When I hear these words, the first thing that comes to my mind are the words of the third commandment that God gave to Moses, and you'll find them in Exodus chapter 20, verse 7. "You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God." You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. When these words are used in drama or in a film, they've obviously been deliberately written and deliberately spoken by by those using the words in the drama. And I use the word deliberately because it's not just a casual use of the words God, Jesus Christ, and heaven. And as a thought, I've often wondered, why don't people say my devil instead of my God? Or for Satan's sake instead of for Christ's sake? Or for hell's sake instead of for heaven's sake? I remember a teacher friend at church saying some time ago that children think that the word God is a swear word, and now I can fully understand how that comes about. During my time during national service, one of the first things that we soon found out was that if you disobeyed a command, punishment soon followed. And if we have a look at the second part of what God said to Moses, he said this: "For the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name." For the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. And to conclude these thoughts, it's worth having a look at the letter of James in the New Testament. And I've chosen 3 verses. First one from chapter 3, reading verses 7 and 8. "All kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, and creatures of the sea are being tamed and have been tamed by man. But no man can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil and full of deadly poison." And then James goes on to say in chapter 5, verse 12, "Above all, my brothers, do not swear, not by heaven or by earth or by anything else. Let your yes be yes, and your no, no, or you will be condemned." And I'd like to close this with a prayer now, and to use a verse from a very old hymn. immortal, invisible, God only wise, in light inaccessible, hid from our eyes, most blessed, most glorious, the Ancient of Days, Almighty, victorious, thy great name we praise. And now for our closing hymn, click onto the link and listen to the hymn. And it's taken from Singing the Faith number 322. And I'll read the first verse. How sweet the name of Jesus sounds in a believer's ear. It soothes our sorrows, heals our wounds, and drives away our fear.